Broncos country. On this episode of the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast, we're going to talk about what happened. What was good about this game versus the Chargers? What was bad? And probably the most important thing, can it be fixed and can we get this season back on track? We're going to talk about it all. I'll have my good friend Jody as well. Let's get this started right about now. Welcome in, everybody, to the Denver Bronco Roundup podcast. We're brought to you by Rocky Mountain Sports Network. We have an amazing sponsor called Morgan Trinkets. We'll talk more about them later. But right now, we got to figure out what's going on with our Denver Broncos, man. We're 3 games in. We're 1-2. We just dropped a heartbreaker on Sunday to an AFC West division opponent. And now, here we sit, trying to lick our wounds and figure out where we go moving forward. We're going to talk about all that, see if we can figure this out. My name's Keith Brugman. I'll be with you for an hour. And Mr. Jody Moncrief, he's all along for the ride as well. Welcome to the show, Jody.
What's up, Keith? What's up, everyone? Excited to break down this game. Point out some things that Keith brought to my attention backstage, some different little things, some things that I noticed in this game. I don't want to make it all doom and gloom because as crappy as Bo Nix has played this season and the offense, you really should be 3-0, and this schedule lightens up, and there's no reason you shouldn't be 5-3, 6-3, as we get going. So hopefully they start to figure some things out, and hopefully the quarterback guru Sean Payton gets Bo Nix under control.
Absolutely, man. I love that, man. We'll talk about Bo Nix. Obviously, that's going to be a big part of it. We're going to show a little bit of video of what I saw on the All-22, give you some ideas of what we're talking about, what everybody's talking about potentially a regression or just, Bo Nix not looking like we thought he would, especially with all the high praise that Sean Payton gave along the way. So, leading up to the season, I mean, if I need to list it again, I think we're a top 5 quarterback and we're a Super Bowl team within the next few years. So, we're all waiting for that. We're waiting to see that. We won't make it all doom and gloom. Never doom and gloom when we have the posse along for the ride, like Mr. Ernie Mays coming in here and say, "Go Broncos country only." Hello, Keith and Jody coming in over on Facebook. And we got some YouTube friends as well. Good evening, gents, and go Broncos, man. That's Mr. Rodney Garcia. Thank you very much. We'll get into some of the negative, and I see that Ernie is going to jump on, pieces that we can talk about as well. But I want to force you off your game a little bit here, Jody. I know that we just watched some clips backstage, and we're excited to maybe find out what's going on with Bo Nix. We might have some questions and some answers. But first, I want to talk about what went well. What was good in this game? Because we were in this game. We were this close to walking away with a win, quite honestly. But it did swing the other way in the end. But there were some good things in this game. What did you see that was good, man?
I thought J.K. Dobbins, ran the ball on limited touches very well. He definitely needs more touches, and I hope Sean Payton warms up to that 11 is not enough. I mean, what he finished with when he was, -2 yards in the first half. So I mean, he basically carried you the first drive out of the second half. For the most part, I thought the defense played pretty well till the very last part of the game. I don't know if they got tired. I'm sure that's part of it. When I think the Chargers had 80 plays and you had like 46 or something. I mean, they almost doubled you up in plays.
Yeah. Staying on the positive, though.
Crawshaw, I think he, for 3 games now, no one has said, are we in the market for a punter?
That's our good friend Kenny. I mean, he's a Crawshaw guy. We'll talk with Kenny more on Monday morning. We can get into some Crawshaw talk, I guess, too.
I guess a couple more. Sutton. Sutton came to play again. I sometimes wonder if he's hurts Nix in a way because Nix just tries to force him the ball sometimes when he's not open. I don't know. I mean, I want him here and stuff, but I just wonder if he wasn't here, would he spread the ball out more? Maybe, maybe not. And then I thought the O-line played pretty well. I mean, when you go back and watch tape, Nix had a lot of clean pockets and he causes his own chaos back there and scrambling. And if he would just do a little slide, a little step up, he's got, clean pockets. And I hope that's something that they work on hard this week.
Yeah. Lots of things that we can take a look at, and I don't know why, but I'm only getting like half my comments, and that's why I'm scrolling all around because I can't see Phil. But Clayton's coming in here first and saying, hey, guys, reminding you, more importantly, don't forget about me. All of you need to hit the like and the share and the notification button and make sure you're giving us a fantastic review wherever you're listening or watching. We appreciate you a ton. And Clayton, it's good to see you, my friend. Good to see you. But Phil was next in line, and like I said, I couldn't see his comment. So, Phil, I apologize. Saying, good evening, Keith and the judge. Time for Singleton to be replaced, and Miners really needs to step up. What are your thoughts? I mean, I think we've hit on the middle linebacker position on probably every episode for the last 16 episodes. If you end up going back, Jody, we'll leave Alex Singleton alone. I think that's, low-hanging fruit, I guess we could go there.
I'll add one thing to him real quick.
Go ahead.
Where do you replace? What is the replacement? Your depth is not good there. You're either bringing up Lavelle Bailey, who's about out of, bring-ups, or I'm drawing a blank on the guy that they kept for special teams. He was only kept just for special teams.
Oh.
Do you want him as a starter?
Yeah.
Until you go trade for somebody or you tough it out for at least 4 weeks. That's how 3 more weeks, at least with Greenlaw. What's your answer?
Yeah.
I mean, we can bash him all you want, but there's not a good answer to replace him. So
you live with what you got, man. Sometimes you got to deal with, got to play the cards that you're dealt with. You know what I mean? And we were probably dealt a few less cards heading into the season with the way that we didn't go out and get anybody outside of Drake Greenlaw. I mean, that was it.
I think
as far as
in addition,
and then Drew Sanders was the other piece. You know what I mean? That's the two things. Between those two, we're kind of dealt a little bit of a shorthand, and we got to deal with it. Like you said, I don't want to go out there, Jody, and start, trading draft picks and everything else to try to get a substitution that's, I hope, is only short term, because I want Dre Greenlaw back and I want him out there commanding this defense like we expected. But we're going to be pushed down the line a little bit. You know what I mean? I don't want to be spending future 6th round pick, 5th round pick to go out and try to trade for somebody and get him. No. We planned poorly. We got to figure it out. We'll ride on from there. But
I think the Sanders injury really messed a lot of things up, because I think that's why they didn't address it in the offseason.
How do you feel about Miners' play, though? That's the one I wanted to get to.
Miners?
Yeah.
I think Miners has been fine. It's just one of those when you're playing at an all-pro top one or two guards in the NFL and you have a subpar or just an average game, it really sticks out, if that makes sense. I mean, he gets graded, in my opinion, just like Pat Surtain last week. They get graded on a different level once you have reached basically the top of your position. I mean, you can just use it. I know this isn't minors, but you can use PS2. I mean, he's 7 for whatever it was, 70 yards. But a lot of those were contested. There was no really yak after in the Colts game and that type of thing. And it happens. So I'm not worried about him at all. He's one of the best guards in football. And I'm not worried about him.
I'm going to run through a few more comments because Karen's also dropping in. By the way, I like the way you put that. You kind of level up. You got a little bit different level of scrutiny when you start being recognized, especially All Pro and Pro Bowl, and you're recognized as probably one of the better talents on this team. And even heard someone saying Miners is probably one of those guys that is most likely to open up the new stadium. This guy that you expect to have around for a long time, and hopefully offensive lineman, build that core. And so that when all that news came out, that's what we were talking about with Quinn Miners. So you're right. I think he just gets a different level of scrutiny.
When you're at the top, where do you go? Where can you go? You can only go down when you're at the very top. And that's when people sit and nitpick stuff that if you were not at the top, that they would say you're playing well. So
yeah, and you get just more like you said, more eyes on you when all of a sudden you're supposed to be one of the best. So Karen's coming in though on YouTube. She's still mad about this game. She just doesn't think that the talent is as good as maybe we thought it was. And happy Wednesday. Otherwise, she says, thanks, Karen. We've been trying to get the positive side of this. I want to jump back over because you brushed through a few things on the positive side that I just want to hit again. J.K. Dobbins, 11 carries for 83 yards, 7.5 yards a carry. Got that touchdown. He was that drive. He was the drive. He's the drive that came out in the second half and put 7 points on the board. It's all J.K. Dobbins, man. Put that team on the back, on his back.
Catch.
Incredible. Oh my gosh. Incredible catch.
On a horrible throw.
Maybe alluding to things in the future here as well. But beyond that, your next leading rusher was Bo Nix, I believe. But from a running back standpoint, RJ Harvey, 2 carries, 2 yards. So you got to find solutions. It looks like you have one in J.K. Dobbins. If you really want to be that, let RJ Harvey come around and spell J.K. Dobbins and get experience and get better and maybe be at his best come the end of the season. But I got to say, J.K. Dobbins continues to impress me and just makes me feel like he needs to get the carries. He needs to get the ball, and he needs to be fed.
I 100% agree on Dobbins. I will give Peyton credit. I mean, he was forcing Harvey when he was not making plays, and he kept forcing him for a while till he just said seen enough. And you're going to have to do that. I mean, he's your second round pick. He's the future at the running back position. So you've got to give him touches. I'm glad that he pulled the plug when he did because it just wasn't there. But then he didn't, give the ball to Dobbins. He just wants to go back to the screen throws.
Roy's coming in and saying that Nix is one of the highest pressured, and as far as time is concerned, getting 2.3 in this last one. Also calling out Wattenberg and just saying we're not that good once again. I'm here. I'm trying to be positive, guys. I'm the guy that has all the negative video that I'm going to be showing here, and I guess in a little bit, there's not much positive you're going to get out of it. So I wanted to come in here and be all positive. I'm going to go another place. Sutton hauled in 6 catches, 118 yards, 19.7 yards per. Obviously, the touchdown as well. I know that you said, hey, he needs to maybe not be the focal point. I'll talk about that here in a second. But when you know as a defense that he is going to be the focal point, that he is the guy that's going to get maybe stared down and thrown the ball to, and you're still coming up with 6 catches for 118 yards and a touchdown. I know that we have questions on whether Sutton's a real number one. The real question, though, and I'll just mention this real quick, is who is our number 2? And I want to put this in a poll because I was thinking about this earlier. The one, you want to know who the number 2 was in this game as far as stats? That would be RJ Harvey, 3 for 14 yards. So who's our number 2? That's my big question. But Sutton, like I said, with all the attention, getting the numbers, going over 100 yards, getting the touchdown, always having to play contested catches, always having to play the number 1 cornerback on the team. Sutton should get a little bit more respect. I think he had a fantastic game.
I agree, and I think the debate or whatever you want to say is he number 1 is ridiculous. He's Denver's number 1. He would be a number 1 on other teams as well. Is he Jamar Chase or just Justin Jefferson? No, but not very many wide receivers are. So if you're going to use that as a measuring stick, that's ridiculous to me. Now, who's number 2 on this team? I guess depends on the week, I guess, because how does Troy Franklin get, what he did in Indianapolis and then basically get nothing the next week, and he didn't even really get any balls thrown his way?
Yeah. Yeah.
But when we break down some tape later and some different things, is this he doesn't get the ball because he's not open, or is it because your quarterback is not getting the ball to open receivers?
Sometimes, right? We'll have some critique here in a little bit. Mr. Kenny Kirkpatrick, you know him as one of the horsemen. You know him on the Morning Juice Mondays, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. He's coming in and saying, evening, fellas. The problem I have with this roster is we knew all the 2024 injuries these players have. I'll just ask you this, Jody and Posse. Did we overplay our hand on we're one of the healthiest teams and we're a team that, you come and you get healthy and you have great careers because that's what we've shown is how good we can change compared to the last regime? Did we overstep our toes a little bit?
With Evan Ingram, I'm not going to
Greenlaw.
I'll put a to be determined on Evan Ingram because he's only missed one game. If at the end of the season we say he's played 16 games, then I'll say then he was healthy. Greenlaw, I don't know. That's a tricky one because I think just by the way that this played out, I think that he re-aggravated that somewhere. How, I don't know, because it doesn't make sense to me why they just didn't put him on IR to begin the season. Unless they knew that he needed about 6-7 weeks. So they just, bought a little time, spaced it out. Because if you go IR, however you do it, that's 8 games or I don't even know.
You can buy a little bit of time. Right. Yeah, absolutely.
So maybe this was all along. So he needed 6 weeks. And so I don't know yet because I need to see him on the field once he's back from that injury. Now, if he comes back and is out again and we're doing this all season, then we bought a lemon. But until he gets on the field, I'm not gonna go there just because he was coming off such a major injury last year.
Fair enough. Roy's coming in here. He says, look, there was good individual play, but at the team as a whole, not that good. If we're going to flip it, because, honestly, I thought the defense, like you said, PS2, you can pick on him and say that he got, thrown on in this game. Herbert did go over for 300 yards, man. I mean, there's no doubt that you can't just gloss over the fact that this defense did struggle at times. Hampton, 19 touches, 70 yards, and a touchdown, 3.7 yards per carry. Najee Harris, before he went out, 6 carries, 28 yards, 4.7 yards per carry. Justin Herbert was 28 for 47, 300 yards and a touchdown, and the one interception that was the deflection interception. Good job, defense, rallying to the ball, being around, getting that INT.
But if you look at Herbert, I mean, he was below 50%, like up into the third quarter, and the numbers were not that good. I mean, he had a Superman fourth quarter, and Denver, it's like Vance Joseph just changed everything up from what we were doing. And like I said earlier, I don't know if it was because we got tired. That could be part of it. When your offense 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, what can you do?
Yeah. They did. I was going to say they did pretty well overall. I wanted to point out the good in the defense, even though there were some stats. We were in this game. I think that at times penalties hurt us. Nick Benito being lined up off sides. Things like that. Just some of the execution from a veteran coach team is driving me a little bit crazy. I'll be honest, Jody. The fact that you even said it, play calls are getting in, with very little time. Started off the game pretty well, but there was still times within this game where, you see the clapping again, Jody. You see the clapping. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. Give me the ball. That's not what we need to see. That's not what we should see happening. That's not a veteran coach team. The penalties, the dumb penalties too. You know what I mean?
I want to go back to the penalties because, if I remember right, they had 13 penalties, and I think 8 of them if I remember right, gave the Chargers first downs. I mean, those were, and I know a couple of them you would stop them, and it's this little 5-yard holding, or you line up offsides, just penalties that you're killing yourself. Those are drive extenders, and that can't happen.
Yep. Maybe more Jonah Ellis. That's Rodney's idea. I mean, not maybe for this particular situation, but he's liking what since we're talking about some of the positives, Jonah Ellis did have a pretty dang good game. Obviously, when it got in there, he was in pressures. He was in. He had the strip on the run, right? So on Davis. So just out there playing and liking what Ellis is bringing to the table as of lately. So
I'll add to a positive. To me, I guess it's a positive that he's not seeing the field because there's 2 guys in front of him that are, balling out. I thought Cooper and Benito, I think, still leads the NFL in pressure rate. Cooper had a sack in this game, so the fact that he's not getting on the field means that there are 2 guys that are balling out just as much on the edge. So, I mean, that's a good thing.
Pearl's coming in. She says these last 2 games would have been won except for the penalties. At least that's how she feels. The penalties have been racking up. Like I said, I do not like the amount of penalties and the amount of dumb penalties it seems like we're taking. I don't care if it's J.K. Dobbins spiking the ball. That's a veteran guy on a veteran-led team. You know what I mean? As far as the head coach is concerned. You know what I mean? You got to be smarter than things like that. You know what I mean? Lining up offsides on a play as a defensive lineman, you almost never even see it get called, Jody. I can't remember last time the Denver Broncos got called for an offside, lined up offsides by the defense. Or any other team for that matter. It's not the play, it's not the penalty you see every single Sunday. Let's put it that way. But we're doing it. And like I said, from a quarterback guru, an offensive guru, talking to a second-year quarterback and getting a play in, and he's only got 10 seconds as he breaks the huddle. Everyone needs to get lined up, set, hopefully maybe identify the mic, I don't know, something before you had to hike the ball and you're back there clapping. It can't be done, man. Can't do this. You know what I mean? Boy, I said this is going to be positive. I went negative really quick. I blame you.
I'll give a positive on the penalties. That's something that you have 100% control of and you can clean up. And I think that's something that will get cleaned up. But I don't expect this all year. Now on the Knicks thing, this is a Sean Payton thing. They'll go to Sean Payton on the sidelines and they'll have the camera on him for 5-6 seconds and he's still spitting out a play call. And you can watch him. His play calls are too wordy at times, and that's something Sean Payton has got to clean up.
Yeah, we can hope. Got a question here from our good friend out there in Hawaii. Maybe he's shipping out Lion Coffee to you. If you're a coffee enjoyer, you should check out lioncoffee.com, and he'll get it out to you lickety split. But right now he has a question for us, man. How long does VJ have? Does he have a short leash? Do you think we have a coaching problem when it comes to this defense? And does VJ, with another guy waiting behind him, potentially, is VJ on a short string or a short leash, I guess you could say?
Right now, I don't think so. I mean, I know some people will say that, but until he needs all his starters, and having multiple backups at linebacker is not helping this team right now. It's actually killing this team. Teams are exposing it.
And I got to point out too, our good friend Trevor Salzman, other horseman, he's been on that horse about this defensive line not being addressed this last offseason. That's your first line of defense, and then linebacker is your second when it comes to some of these runs or running backs that have taken advantage, especially at the middle. So I just want to point that out. But you're right, linebacker position, he's also not getting everything that he thought he was going to get, and that's right now a weak point for this defense. But I'll let you continue, my friend.
And the thing for me is you would held this team to 10 points through 3 quarters, and the game's still close because offensively we can't put this team away. And it's been really 2 weeks. You go up double digits against the Colts, you win that game. You go up, you had multiple chances to go up double digits in this game, and you don't. And I heard someone last week, I don't remember who it was, saying you take the points when you get them. At some point, you've got to have a killer mentality and put a team away, not just let's go up 7 and rely on our defense to bail us out again. Why don't you go up 14 and who cares if they score or not, because you're still winning.
Got to say hello to a couple of friends, man. One is my good friend Jeremy, who's coming in here and saying, "Sup, fellas, and go Broncos." Love the passion, buddy. Love the passion. I'm sure there was a different type of passion on Sunday. I've sat around and watched a couple of games with you. I know a loss doesn't go well in the Dressler household. But another friend I want to talk about is our amazing sponsor, and that's Morgan Trinkets. Morgan Trinkets has been your headquarters for Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, Estate Gold, wholesale prices for over 34 years. They were once a nationwide company. Now they hang out in your backyard, northern Colorado, southern Wyoming, peddling their wares, and some amazing pieces as far as that is concerned. And you'll find them at the gem shows. You'll find them at a dog show. You'll find them at the fairgrounds whenever they're having a major event, when vendors are present in the northern Colorado, southern Wyoming area. That's not the only place you can find them. You can also find them over on the amazing Etsy. I'm sure everyone's heard of Etsy, right? Everyone's heard of Etsy, right? Oh, my goodness. Morgan Trinkets is over there. They're at Morgan Trinkets Co. That's Morgan Trinkets Co. You'll see everything that Pearl has to offer. And over there, she accepts all major credit cards, and all orders over $50 are shipped absolutely free. So I'm telling you, if Southwest Jewelry, Southwest Pottery, um, Estate Gold, wholesale prices, silver, sterling silver, all that is like your gig. Head on over to Morgan Trinkets. You will not be disappointed. Morgan Trinkets, go over on Etsy. Check them out in your local area. If you're in Northern Colorado, Southern Wyoming, they might be just at one of your shows. Trevor, I've tried to keep it fairly positive. We've dipped a lot into the negative, I know, but anything else that we need to hit before like I said, I want to get into some of these video clips of what we saw in this last game, and I want to know, what are your thoughts? Is it fixable? And as we move on, let's hit that first. Some of the things we talked about already, some of the negatives we've talked about already, that don't revolve around Bo Nix. Do you think this offense and Sean Payton can get J.K. Dobbins more touches, and maybe R.J. Harvey can come along and be a better piece as a backup piece, and before he has to take over that role fully? But can we just get the running the rock and get J.K. Dobbins rolling? I think that's what we need, and what I think you want, what I want. Somebody needs to start rolling as far as that running back room is concerned. Do we have the offensive line and the running back to get that done?
Yes to all your questions. I think we can do it. Do we have the offensive line? I definitely think we do. I mean, if you look at all the metrics, Denver's a top 1 or 2 in run blocking. Same with pass blocking. They're right up there. So everything that they're doing is working. The bigger question is, will we? That falls on Sean Payton. When you have a guy that's running the ball like Dobbins was, and you just go away from that in a game that you're winning and you can run clock and you can do some different things, and you just go away from that, is just mind blowing to me. Why he can't commit to that? Because if you go back and you look at some of the Saints numbers, was he ever a 50-50? No, but he had a lot of seasons where it was 55-45, pass to run, not this 65-35 type thing we're running now, sometimes 70-30. It's I don't know why he feels the need to throw the ball so much.
Yeah, it's maybe maybe we should call it Drew Brees syndrome or something like that. I mean, I do start to wonder just really quickly, because Drew Brees, I think we can all come to agree, is at least a once in a decade type of talent. They don't come around and fall off trees every single day. And when you have that, I think there is something that makes you want to replicate that and think that you can replicate that. And it's tough to beat that out of you. But right now, Sean's kind of maybe taking the beating, and hopefully that helps him understand that he needs to run the ball a little bit more. That's all I can say.
And I guess it goes back to, did Tom Brady make Bill Belichick or vice versa? Same thing with Drew Brees. Did Sean Payton call some bad stuff that Drew Brees bailed him out and made him look good? I don't know. I mean, in one sense you can say that, but then when you break down some film and you see wide receivers wide open, that your quarterback just pulls a Russell Wilson and just doesn't throw it to him, I don't know why.
Okay, man. You've teased it enough, man. If I get one more tease from you, I don't know what else I can do. So we're just going to jump into it, man. We're just going to jump into it. You saw the clips backstage. Is there one that stuck out in your mind that you're like, Keith, let's show this one, because this one just popped in my head? We don't have every piece of every Bo Nix throw on here, guys. We just have a few throws, but we just want to point out a few things I think that's been talked about a lot, and why not just put it here up on the screen? Jody, do you have anything in particular you want to hit first?
The one down in the red zone for me,
Okay, very
I
good.
guess.
Let's get the crossing route that was over the middle, right? The crossing route. This is an end zone play right here. Hopefully this is queued up here pretty good. This is in slow motion. One thing that I was just gonna point out is you have a running back next to Bo Nix, and then you have his receiver at the top of the screen. Those are the only two guys that aren't in a press coverage situation here. Everybody else pretty pressed up. And we're going to see this kind of go into motion. I'm going to pause it right here. I'm going to spoiler alert. The ball's going to the right. And it's going to a guy who looks like he's pretty covered. But the guys I want to have you watch are the running back that's coming out and the receiver that's about at the 10-yard line at the top, or just at the 1 at the 10-yard line. And follow the progression. And this is what Jody was talking about, that just frustrating.
And before Keith plays anymore, look at this pocket. I mean, that's a clean pocket. There's no one around him. He can slide. He can step up. I mean, and
We'll
as it
take a little bit more look. How's it looking now, Jody? How's that pocket look?
That's as beautiful a pocket as you're going to see in the NFL. I mean, you can step up, you can slide, you can do anything you want right there.
Not looking really good down on the right-hand side. Guys are pretty tied up, but if we look at that running back that came out, and we look at that wide receiver at the 5-yard line, looking like they have a little space so far and a great pocket to throw from so far. So we'll continue, man. Look at him cross over now. You got the running back. He's going over the top, and the wide receiver is going to duck underneath on the top. Everybody else pretty tied up, but it doesn't matter to Bo Nix at this point. He knows where the ball is going to go. It's going to go right down to the bottom, and now I'll pause it right here. What do you see, Jody?
And if you could circle, you can see Harvey up top. You could throw a little fade to him, or an easy. You want to throw crossers all day, right there. Franklin's wide open, and that's an easy catch it and probably back your way in or run right in for a touchdown.
Yeah. Worst case scenario, they come up. You're sitting at the 1-yard line.
Those are wide ass open wide receivers. Those are wide open. That's an NFL. That's high school wide open. I mean, that's wide open. And we're throwing down in here to double coverage. If you go back and watch that whole thing again, that pocket was clean, but he had made his mind up. We're one reading. We're gonna, double coverage. He had plenty of time. That's double covered. Let me, just do a quick hip flip and look over here, and I got 2 open wide receivers.
Yeah. I think the one that you really point out, because I was watching Harvey go into the fade, but you were like, Franklin's coming right in his line of sight. It's coming right in front of him. If he's just willing to look at half the field, Franklin's going to enter into half his field of vision, and he only has to go middle to right. Franklin's going to come right in middle to right.
Yep.
Okay, buddy. This was a play that was pretty early, and I think it was one of the first ones that really frustrated me and just kind of stood out. This was the first one over the middle, and I'll have to back this up just a second, guys. Sorry about that. This was one that was over the middle to Kroll. You can see him; he's lined up on the left-hand side, just outside of Bowles there. And this is just knowing what you have right now as it starts to play off. Do I have zone or do I have man? Kroll recognizes it properly, in my opinion. He's like, I see zone. Everyone's dropping. I got to settle into this pocket to get this catch. But Bo Nix thinks he's going to continue on his route over the middle, or it's just a poor throw. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt in that maybe it was just a poor read, because Bo Nix fires it, Kroll stops, and then he's lunging to try to maybe even stop an interception at that point, but at least try to bring in a completion. It doesn't happen for him. So
I'm not going to give him the benefit of the doubt, and it really goes back to, I think it was in the Titans game when Kroll kept going across, and Nix wanted him to settle down, and right after he just pointed there, sit, and he just pointed there. So he sits there, and he just threw a lazy pass. If he puts that right on him, that's an easy catch for 5. By the time he falls backwards, probably a 6 or 7 yard pass.
All right, just a couple more. I'll hit the comments here in a second. I see that we should have kept Barton as an inside linebacker. Let Singleton go. Paul, I hear you, man. It's rough at the inside linebacker. Let's hit the overthrow to Mims. I know this is one that you're familiar with right off the bat, man.
While you're dialing that one up, I'll
Yeah.
go back to that other throw. Some of these little quick throws that he does, when he has his mind made up that it's going to this guy and that's it, he gets super lazy back there and he flat foots it. And the throws I really notice it on is when it's a quick slant and he knows that's where he's going with it. There is no like a little step back and throw it. It's catch it and I'm flat footed and throw it. And to me, it's lazy throwing.
I'll just speed this up a little bit. That's what you're talking about right
there. And like he's like kind of like half sidearmed it a little bit. You can kind of see it's sidearmed. He doesn't.
He's rolling off his back
shuffles
heel.
Just right. It's just lazy to me because it's such an easy throw right there. But the mechanics are off, and if he had the mechanics right, that should be right between the 8 and 5 and an easy 5, 6, 7 yard pass.
Doesn't look like a bad pocket. I mean, we're getting a little bit of pushback in his lap.
No, that's that's as clean as you're going to get in the NFL right there. There's no one touching him. There's no one at his feet. There's no hands in his face. Nothing. You aren't getting a better pocket than that right there.
All right, man. Overthrow to Mims. Everyone probably remembers this within the game. The thing that really frustrates me, again, I want to talk about a fairly clean pocket. Time to throw. But for some reason, we're going to step up and we're going to jump when we decide to throw now. And it's just the footwork. We heard how Bo Nix is going to be taking that next step and how he's commanding the offense and he's a top 5. This is the flea flicker, guys, if you remember, right? So right now, he's got the ball back, and I want you to look at that pocket. If anything, McGlinchey on the left-hand side of the screen is going to have a little bit of an issue, but he gets some push down, push back.
But even that right there with McGlinchey, he's doing what he needs to. Bo Nix shuffle up, step up just a hair in the pocket, and McGlinchey's pushed that guy out of the play, and that's another clean pocket right there.
You got 2 guys on number 91 coming up the center. Miners is free. Dobbins is coming to help out on the side. There's nobody else in sight. This is a great opportunity. Now look at this motion as he jumps up in the air and falls as he goes forward. Mims ends up, he's running down the field. He's wide open. There's nobody within 5-6 yards of him.
That should have been an easy touchdown. And like I told you backstage, I heard the people, well, if Mims just dives, he catches it, and that's just as much on Mims. I disagree with that. That should have been put right in his hands. That pocket's clean. Everything is about as perfect as you're going to get, except for, like you said, why are we jump throwing and throwing it like that? Why? Look how he's running up to the line. Just shuffle a little bit. He put himself in that position by the little run up that he did into the lineman. If he just does one little short little shuffle, he can step into that throw and he's got plenty of room.
Get planted, throw the ball.
Get
planted, throw the ball. You know what I mean? There, especially with the guy's got no one but 5-6 yards around him. You know what I mean?
If those linemen weren't in front of him, I think he would have ran a little bit more and it would have been a full out run and throw it way off platform.
Yeah. Last one I got. This is my worst clip. It starts up really, really late in this, guys. But this is just another rush throw, in my opinion, as Bo Nix has this opportunity. Look at this. We've crashed the pocket behind him at this point. We have one guy, and I know the camera's right in the way in this all-22 film, but you have one guy that's potentially could come after Bo Nix, and an offensive lineman directly in front of him. No worries whatsoever.
Yeah, and he's
We go
basically
ahead and look
he's
at this.
basically just doing a spying him. He's not really even rushing him because I think he's just spying in case he decides to run.
But look at the platform he throws off of. Almost that jump throw. This was earlier in the game. Almost like that jump throw where we're falling forward. And this is the out to Bo Nick or to Cortland Sutton that almost got intercepted.
And they said it right during the broadcast. If he steps into that throw and puts it on the outside, that's an easy completion.
Put it at the hash, right?
Right.
Put it at the hash. Step into this and put it at the hash. Instead, it's at the hash at best.
And as much as we're bashing him right now, I will give him some credit. He stepped up. He slid up in the pocket. He didn't just do a run up like he normally does.
Mm-hmm.
But then just settle right there and throw it.
Yeah. All right. I've ignored the posse. We got Aussie Wombat coming in and said he had to what did I say? He had to balloon. It was on a trip. He was going to trip on the lineman's back. He had to balloon. Maybe he had to jump up. He had to, if not,
And that's what I'm saying. He caused that problem. Instead of just a little short shuffle up in the pocket, he did like a little half sprint up there and put himself right in the back of those two linemen. Where he could have just that little short shuffle and then he could have stepped right into it.
Rodney's saying, plant your feet, use your hips, especially in there. You know, you gotta. It's throwing motion. It's kind of quarterbacking. I'm not going to say I'm a quarterback guru, but I have an idea. He said he was at the he was at the Saints game. Same type of throw there that he saw. Phil McLaughlin, happy feet in the pocket. So this is where I'm getting at, man. We could pick on Bo Nix all night. Some people have been asking. I saw Karen in there and Pearl talking a little bit earlier whether we're seeing a sophomore slump.
Can I address that? I
want to say, what do you equate it to, and is it fixable? We're only three games into the season, man. We got 14 games to go. This could easily take an upward swing if things get on the right path, Jody. But can it, or will it, or do you see the potential? Whether it was last year in college, 3 plays last game, whatever it happened to be. What are you seeing? Give us a little bit of hope if you can.
I think it can be because we've seen this same sort of thing in the beginning of last season. And, you know, it came kind of to a head in that Thursday night game in the Saints. I mean, he has 2 wide receivers wide open and he throws it right in the middle between 2 of them. Then he had that little short bye and he came back in the Panthers game. I was at that game. He was settled in the pocket a lot more. He was ripping the ball, stepping into throws. He almost chose not to run in any game the rest of the way. He was stepping into throws. They were throwing the ball deeper. So it can be fixed. Will it? I don't know because I've went back and I still think this is on Sean Payton when he is ingrained in everyone's mind. He doesn't take sacks. Bo doesn't take sacks. That's the greatest trait of Bo Nix, to the point that any sign of pressure, Bo just bails and runs, where, in my opinion, some sacks are good sacks if you're hanging in the pocket and you just have to take a sack, where if read one's not open, we bail or we throw to read one, whether he's open or not, or we bail and run. And then we're in, I will call it Russell Wilson scramble mode, and you try to make a home run play like in the Colts game down the sideline. And every time he completes a pass like that when he's throwing with horrible mechanics, I think that gives him confidence. I can throw it however I want.
Mm-hmm.
Because I go back to the Buffalo game.
I can be that guy that nails that running 3, right?
Correct. If you go back to the Buffalo game, that first drive, that first whatever it was, 3rd and long, and he stayed right in the pocket, stepped in the pocket, and threw a dime to Sutton across the middle for a first down. and then the deep touchdown, and he got blown up on that play, but he stayed in there. And where I don't know where that's went or why all that's changed, but that's something that's got to change. And like I told you, if we're gonna rip Russell Wilson for a couple of years ago when he missed Judy for that easy touchdown to win the game, I think it was versus the Colts.
I think you're
When
right.
we went for 2, then you've got to rip Nix for right there that he missed 2 wide open wide receivers to throw into double coverage for a guy he was never open from the beginning, but you had your mind made up. I'm going to throw it in there. And I mean, go through your progressions. You had plenty of time you could have went to reads 3, 4, and 5 as much time as the O-line gave you that play.
That's true. True. Go through your progressions and honestly, look at that play. Nicely designed play, man. I mean, that's one of those ones that you draw up at the goal line. You're like, hopefully this is the look we get. Because if we do, we got an opportunity here, guys. We got a touchdown. Unfortunately, if you look at the worst read and decide that's where you're going to go, it can go out the door really quickly. You got to be talking about all-pro quarterback, all-pro receiver in order to make that happen.
Now, something that frustrates me, and I don't know if this is just you're going to have your guys back and you've got to say what you got to say to the media, but when he literally just says he's not worried about Nix, Peyton, he's not worried about Nix, and he's a gunslinger, just keep throwing it. I hope if that's just to stick up for your guy, I hope behind the scenes that they are hammering like why are you even attempting to throw this ball? He's double covered. Go to your progressions. You've got all the time in the world here in the pocket. You had, as open as that pocket was, you probably had 5-6 seconds. And I hope behind the scenes that they're really saying that type of stuff, calling him out. Like, why are we sprinting this little 2 sprint up to the line and running into your lineman's back as you're throwing it? Just do a little shuffle and step into it and throw it.
Mm-hmm. Believe it or not, you can shuffle forward, and Jody, if the pocket's good enough and the offensive line is doing their job that great, you can even shuffle back and plant your feet. I've seen it happen before.
I'll give him that. That is one thing I have not seen a lot this year. He threw a lot off his back foot last year, and I really haven't seen that this year. It's been more of the.
Oh no, that's not what I'm getting at. I'm just saying.
So he's worked on that.
Yeah,
but and to me, Sean Payton is part of it. If you're going to praise him for making that play in the Colts game down the sideline to Mims, that's not really helping in the big picture because I can throw it that way every time and complete big plays.
Yeah. It's about the messaging and making sure it's complete all the way through. Like you said, sometimes you're out there in front of the press and, you're not going to go out there and maybe roast your quarterback. But the message hopefully is different, maybe behind closed doors.
And I wish that they would do something like the Bills did with Josh Allen. If you watch him, and there's videos, if you watch him like at Pro Day at Wyoming, the way he threw it and his leg swung around and he was all over. He just had horrible mechanics. And if you watch how he throws now, it's tight. Everything's buttoned up and the way he throws and stuff now, I wish that they would almost do that with Nix because you don't have to take away his athleticism and different things, but if it's just going to stay like this, you're just going to get the inconsistencies all the time. And I'm to the point, put Jarrett Stidham in there. Jarrett Stidham at least probably, goes through his reads and can make that little throw to Troy Franklin.
All right. Well, you talked enough. And secondly, I'm going to have to put that on Hot Take Thursday. Start Jarrett Stidham. That's what Jody's calling for. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just joking.
I'm not calling for a quarterback controversy yet. And you've got to ride with Bo Nix and all that. But at some point, you've got to be fair all the way around. If you're going to, like I said, if you're going to bass rush for missing wide open guys like that and afraid to throw over the middle and different things. Well, when Nix has wide open guys and he's thrown into double coverage, you've got to be the same. You've got to do the same.
I got a question and an answer, but I need your answer as well. Have been a long time since I've seen Winter Soldier, or maybe the first time. He says, how much time to improve does a 25-year-old quarterback who had 61 games started in the college really need, or maybe even get? And just on the other side, Aussie Wombat coming in and says Bo needs to improve now and not next season, and his stats have regressed. So a question is it poor quarterback play, or is it the play calling itself? I think I know which way you're going to fall on the quarterback play or play calling, maybe from the footage that we just saw. Maybe I'm wrong. But the question I'm going to go back to, and I want the answer to, is how much time do you give a 25-year-old quarterback who did get 61 starts in the college realm and now is your NFL second-year quarterback?
I think you have to give him a little more time than you would think, because of the offense he came out of was a one read type of offense there, where this is more, you're going to have to go to read 2 and read 3, where he was not used to that at Oregon. So it was catch the ball and kind of throw it. There wasn't a lot of checking at the line. There wasn't a lot of, so you got to give him time on that, where I'm, I guess, for the amount of starts, where I don't know what the right word is how he is in his pocket presence. It's regressed so much from how it ended the last part of last year. And I don't know why. I don't know if he's feeling the pressure of Peyton telling him he's going to be a top 5 quarterback in 2 years. This is a Super Bowl team. I don't know what it is, but we know he can do it because we've seen it last year, the transformation, and I used the Saints game on. But it's just regressed to the point that, and this is just my opinion, there are good sacks and there are bad sacks, and if you're maneuvering in the pocket and you get sacked, so what? You bailing because someone barely touched you as Bowles or McGlinchey are pushing around you and you have all this wide open space in front of you to throw, that has to get coached out.
It's funny because a lot of times they're like, oh, his clock is slow. He thinks he has more time. This is what you usually hear,
Right.
It's almost like Bo Nix is on the flip side. His clock is fast. He gets back there and he doesn't allow himself enough time to go through reads, get his feet planted. I know it's in him. I've seen it. I saw it in college. I saw it last year. He has it in him, Jody, but he's not doing it now. Is it, like you said, the big calls for him being a top quarterback and we're going to be a Super Bowl contending team or Super Bowl winning team? Whatever Sean put as far as pressure on this
Yeah, I don't know
quarterback
why.
and the rest of the team. But, I'm not sure why he's struggling. Maybe it's schematically, obviously, we're doing some different things, wide zone scheme as far as the run game, and goodness, at least all the naked bootlegs from week 1 have disappeared. But, there's obviously a lot of changes going on in this offense. But
This is where Sean Payton has got to help him.
It's in him.
Sean
Yes, I
Payton
agree.
has to, and I don't know if I said this backstage or maybe I said it earlier. When the camera's on Sean Payton for 5 or 6 seconds and he's still spitting out a play and you can tell that he's telling a play, that's too much. And it's too much. And you can go on there and there's clips of Sean Payton saying a play and Chase Daniels breaks it down and stuff. It's like the funniest thing, but that's what it is. It's too much.
Too much Y banana. I don't know. Yeah, you're absolutely right. It needs to be somewhat simplified. I think that would help Bo Nix quite a
Because
bit. There was calls for that in the chat, in the posse as well. Posse, by the way, just a real quick call out, man. Been amazing. Viewership on this episode off the charts. We appreciate you. Love you a ton. Jody, you want to make another point though, buddy?
Well, how many times do you see Bo Nix go up there and he's clapping his hands real fast, snap the ball snapped on 2-1?
Yeah.
The defense knows that, and so they're not even paying attention to listening to what he's saying, because this is when he's clapping like that and stuff, they know the ball's getting ready to get snapped, and that's where they can tee off on him. And if he got up to the line with 15 seconds and he can look over some things, I think some things would change. But it also doesn't help when we're sending in a whole new group of guys every other play. It's
yeah,
it's ridiculous. At some point, you've got to let these guys get into the game and get a feel for the game.
You know, the other thing you need to do, especially when you're in Denver, is keep that defense on the field, not let them rotate, get them winded,
right?
Push it down the field. You know, that's your advantage. But when you're substituting every single play, and then the defense gets the time, and you see the referee up there holding off the quarterback. Wait. Okay, now you can go ahead and you can hide the ball, and there's 3 seconds left on the clock.
Yeah, that's a good point. When you're subbing in every play, the defense, they have no urgency to get guys on the field because the ref's going to hold you up, and you might as well just walk on the field because you have all the, I don't know what, I'm sure at some point it's a penalty.
Yeah.
But you have
delay a game.
A lot of time. You have a lot of time. You don't have to sprint on the field. You might as well just jog.
Yeah.
And let that play clock run down. That's a great point of what the defense is doing.
We've had a lot of great points tonight, Jody. We go live with the Denver Bronco Roundup on Wednesdays and Fridays. Are you going to be around for Friday, my friend?
I don't think I'll be on this Friday.
Ooh. You know what that means, man. We don't have another pregame before now and then for you. We'll get our predictions when it comes to this up-and-coming Monday Night Football game versus the Cincinnati Bengals. But I guess I got to get your thoughts and predictions before we get out of here now, buddy. I'm not going to leave you hanging. You get to voice it a little bit early. What do you got for us, right? The way too early prediction, I guess.
I think for the rest of the season, until I see this do something, and I'm talking like an Atlanta Falcons type game last year, I'm going to go with another 23. I'll go 24-20 Denver, something like that. Denver, this is not a must. It's probably not a must win, but it needs to be a must win, especially because Kansas City may be 1-3 by the time you play. And you can't fall to 1-3 with them if you have any chance of winning this division.
Get that midnight blue attire, as Rodney's pointing out. Jody, fantastic episode. I am going to reserve my predictions for the Friday episode of the Denver Bronco Roundup. I'll be back on here with Trevor Salzman, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. I guess there's kind of a prediction show because it'll be a kind of a Kenny Kirkpatrick and Keith Brugman prediction show also on Monday morning, because we'll have the morning juice as well with Kenny Kirkpatrick. That's 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. Check us out then. I guess you get a double prediction for me. I'll be back with maybe updates. Who knows? Maybe I changed my mind. But, man, fantastic episode. I'm going to let you have some final words before you get out of here, buddy, and then I'll run through everything that I need to.
Quick question for you and the posse. They can just put Dobbins or Bo as the answer. Do you want to see Bo have a Atlanta Falcons type game this Monday? Or do you want to see Sean Payton finally commit to J.K. Dobbins and him get 20-plus carries and go for 100 and over 100 and a couple touchdowns?
I don't even think I've said Paul's name, even though he's been blowing up the chat. But he came in here, about maybe the same time, maybe before you said that. It says embrace Dobbins, Sean. That's what he's looking for, man. Maybe not looking for the breakout Bo Nix game. Let's get J.K. Dobbins going as far as he's concerned. Phil McLaughlin coming in also agrees with you. I believe that's where you're going, buddy, that we should get the J.K. Dobbins train running. Where are you at on this, man? Where are you at on this? I think you're absolutely right. Take the pressure off the kid. Right now,
Dobbins.
He's got three games in. Bo Nix doesn't need the pressure. Let's get Dobbins the ball and let's roll. And you're Dobbins as well. Any addition to that?
Mainly because of who you play next week in Philly, and I don't think it's going to be a laser show. You going to be in a big boy type football game, and you better be able to run the football.
Dobbins from Aussie Wombat. Will Dobbins break 100 yards rushing? Your prediction, since you're doing the predictions on this, you had to put that score prediction out. You have a 24-20 victory for the Denver Broncos. Does that mean J.K. Dobbins goes over 100 yards?
I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the score prediction. I will say no until I see it.
Okay.
I've got to see it before I start betting on it.
All right, fair enough. I'm not gonna hang myself out on that one. He says. Jeremy says the run game. I thought that's interesting because he doesn't necessarily say Dobbins, but he wants to see the run game. So maybe he's pulling for a little bit of RJ Harvey in there. 21-20 for the Denver Broncos, says Pearl. Pearl, make sure you're back on Friday at least talking with us and being on that prediction show. See if you change your mind as well. I want to see us get a spark, says Mr. Rodney Garcia, and maybe see Jaleel. Maybe Jaleel's the spark. I know that you haven't necessarily been a 3-back system, but maybe an injection of Jaleel and he starts going crazy. And I hate to say your top running back pick that you said that you lauded for gets pushed down the depth chart a little bit. But if Jaleel goes out there and is a spark and goes crazy, maybe. Who knows? There's lots of questions. Hopefully Sean has the answers. We try to come up with the answers.
Maybe because Beatty didn't. I don't even think he played last week. Did he?
No, I don't know. I didn't see Beatty out there at all. I mean, I didn't watch every special teams with scrutiny, but
I mean, running the ball, I don't think he had any
no
touches or any like we've seen in the first 2 games.
You guys are all having to come back. You're all having to come back on Friday. Give me more predictions. I say 31-16 Denver, says Rodney. He's looking for that, maybe that Saints type of explosion type of game. Maybe it's a J.K. Dobbins type of explosion, but he likes the defense and what they'll be able to bring versus a Cincinnati Bengals no longer being piloted by Joe Burrow. Jody, we're like an hour and 7 minutes. We did a little bit of overtime here, man. Just a big thank you. I haven't done this in a long time, man. I'm going to run through this. I'm going to do this old school. Thank you to Rodney. Thank you to Karen and Paul and Aussie Wombat and Pearl and Jeremy and Phil McLaughlin. Ernie Mays jumping in. He came in here super early. I didn't even see this one. Teal Fishes, I think it says. Everyone wants Denver to stop substituting, but that's one of the reasons they've been healthy. Could be a good point, and thanks for jumping in and being part of the conversation. Sorry I missed you. Karen, if I didn't say your name, you get it said at least once, if not twice. Thanks so much for being a part of the show. Always appreciate you. Anybody else that I'm missing that I maybe came in a little bit early? Roy Osborne, I'm seeing in there if I didn't mention you. Just all the love, appreciation. Thank you guys so much for being a part of our show. The Posse, you guys are absolutely amazing. We love riding with you. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Patrick Wiltsey, by the way, was also part of us coming in from Hawaii. I forgot about that one. But we're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We're on Apple Podcasts. We're on Spotify. If you want to find us, you can find us. Just go looking. We appreciate all the love and support, all the likes, loves, shares, subscribes, 5-star ratings. You guys are absolutely awesome. We'll keep coming at you again every Wednesday, every Friday with the Denver Bronco Roundup, 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then I'm coming back at you with the Morning Juice, 7 a.m. Mountain Standard Time, right here on the Rocky Mountain Sports Network. Thank you so much to Morgan Trinkets, amazing sponsor. A big shout out to you, but we do need to get out of here. We'll get out of here the way we always do. Keep your boots in the stirrups, guns in the holsters, and, of course, Denver Broncos in your heart. Until next episode, we're out of here. Have a great night, everybody.